You were from Verizon?
Yes.
Okay, we're ready to start the public hearing for 180 Boston Post Road bypass, 19 Oak Street and 1 Sudbury Road.
Thank you.
If you could just identify yourself, please, and we've given this, I think the agenda is not quite right. We've given this about a half an hour.
I'll try not to be that verbose.
Okay, good. This is the pine tree, right?
Well, actually, this is 3 separate sites.
3 separate sites, okay.
First of all, good evening. My name is Daniel Klasnick. I'm an attorney representing Verizon Wireless. As the chairman has just noted on the agenda, there are 3 separate locations, existing Verizon Wireless locations. And what Verizon Wireless is doing, and I'm sure you've probably seen this from other wireless service providers, they're continuing to upgrade their network, moving more and more towards the 4G format. So in order to do that, they necessarily, at times, need to replace certain equipment. So all 3 of these sites are, as I said, existing sites, and all Verizon Wireless is proposing to do is to change out some antennas and add some other small equipment to the tower that will allow them to further expand their 4G network footprint here in Weston. So the first site is the 180 Boston Post Road, which is the police department tower. I think there are 2 towers there, actually.
Did you bring it? You didn't happen to bring a tripod with you, did you?
I did not.
I can
Just use a chair.
Yeah, because the camera needs to look at it also.
They're
They
linked.
can.
Which way is good for the camera?
Camera's right there.
Okay. Can the board see this at all? Or?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the first of the 3. This is a 100-foot monopole tower. It's existing. Verizon Wireless, I think, has been there since the very beginning. Verizon Wireless right now is located at the 88 elevation on the 100-foot monopole tower. They currently have 12 antennas installed at that particular height. They also have an equipment shelter that's located inside the compound. And what Verizon Wireless is proposing to do here as part of its 4G upgrade is to swap out or change out 6 of the existing 12 antennas. So there'll still only be 12 antennas, but they need to switch some of them out to accommodate the 4G. They're also going to be deploying what are called remote radio heads, and that just allows for consistent performance, because one of the other things they're going to do is they're going to add a fiber cable on the inside of the monopole to connect to the radio equipment inside the shelter. So as I understand, the purpose is to convert the signal back for the remote radio heads. That's the purpose of the remote radio heads, so when they attach into the antennas. So there won't be any change to the ground-based equipment. The equipment shelter will still be there. Literally all they do is they bring in a boom, or they climb the tower, they pop off 6 antennas, they put 6 new antennas in its place, they add the remote radio heads and the fiber cabling. We included with our application photo simulations, but there really isn't much of a physical change to the facility. That should have been in your packet of the applications we filed. And all this is just necessary, as I said, to allow them to continue to implement their 4G service. So that's basically all there is to
Just
it.
the photo sense.
That's the application and their photo simulations.
Oh.
You won't see any difference based all
That seems to be what he's saying.
Yeah.
You guys want to take a look at it?
Sure. I think I have one of this.
So you're swapping out the antennas, but you're adding something else, which I forget which.
3 radio heads.
Yeah, they're called remote radio heads. They're approximately 24 inches high. They're mounted right in the area of the array. They're 24 inches high and 10 inches wide by 6 inches deep. And that's, as I understand it, because they're using fiber cable, a hybrid cable, as opposed to coaxial cable, that somehow converts the signal back to allow the whole thing to operate.
And those will be on the outside of the poles. It's not one of these poles with the antennas inside.
No, the antennas are on the outside, and if you've seen the photo sims, you can't really see them because they kind of blend into the antennas.
This is the one at the police station.
Yes.
Come
And
down
actually,
anyway.
one of the reasons we scheduled it for tonight is that the police station obviously is going to be demolished within the next several months, and we wanted to get Verizon in there to do their work before any of that activity started.
This isn't going to interfere with the police transmission, is it? I mean,
No, no.
No, I mean, these are all operated on FCC licensed frequencies. I mean, Verizon Wireless is prohibited from interfering with any other lawful operating system. So it really is just a very de minimis equipment change. A lot of towns treat these as a BP type situation where you really just go in and pull a building permit. I know we were also going to be extending the special permit in this instance as well.
Yeah.
Because the town has that 5-year requirement, and although this one hasn't expired yet, we're going to do that as part of that.
Yeah, on November 1st, 2011, Verizon obtained a site plan special permit from the planning board for the installation and use for 5 years.
okay, so
So,
we'd be extending it from what date?
so
From today?
from today,
Okay, so it's we'd be extending it 5 years from today?
right? And that decision basically says if there was any modification change, Mr. Klasnick had to come back. Verizon had to come back to review this with the board.
No. Anybody? Anybody? Yeah.
I just had, but how will this...
Identify yourself, please.
Diana Chaplin, 26 Lane. How will this affect the users of Verizon Wireless? Like, how
Hopefully
will-
you'll see improved 4G service.
So like better reception, like what is that?
Yeah, I mean, that's usually, right now Verizon Wireless is primarily using that for data. So you should hopefully see improved download. I mean, there's just such demands being placed upon the networks that all the carriers are just trying to couple together as best they can. And I'm always amazed that given that somebody now wants to watch an entire movie on their phone, that they're still able to provide that level of service when I think 5 years ago all we were doing, we were basically just talking and maybe texting. So it's a busy time for the industry, just trying to keep up with the demand and continue to provide good service.
Yes, sir.
Dick Wright, 15 Linden Circle. Can you tell me with improved 4G service, what does that mean quantitatively? Does that mean more bits per second, or how does that work?
No, I think it just allows them to handle more capacity on it. Right now, they're running just one antenna is handling the LTE 4G data. This will allow 2 antennas to handle the 4G. So they'll be able to handle more of it. I don't think the upload or download speeds are going to be impacted.
2 antennas on the monopole?
Well, it'll be a total of 2 antennas per sector. There are a total of 12. So 6 of them will be 4G dedicated. So,
And that's going to happen on all 3 of the monopoles?
well, not all of them are monopoles. One of them's an internal mount, so it's a little different. And then the other one is a monopine, if you want to call it that. But yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Monopine is,
Yeah, the other
functionally a monopole.
one's an internal mount, the one on Sudbury Road. So that's a little different. They have limited antennas that they can fit inside theirs.
All right. Any other comments? Anybody want to make a motion on this one?
A motion to accept is it the amendment that we're doing and a 5-year lease? Is that what it?
An extension of the lease?
And so you're extending the special permit site plan review for 5 years from this date.
Okay. So moved.
At 180 Boston Post Road,
Right.
5 pounds. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No opposed? We'll move on to the giant pine tree.
Yes, this is
They stick out like a
a
silica-
similar scenario, but I think slightly different relief. I don't know if we talk about that first or not. But in this particular instance, this one isn't in your overlay. So the Board of Appeals granted a use variance, and the Planning Board granted a modification or a site plan review. So it wasn't really subject to a term. There's no term associated with this one. So I guess in this particular instance, we would just be further modifying the site plan to allow for. And what Verizon Wireless is doing here is, once again, this is exactly the same as the other one. It's just replacing 6 antennas. There's 12. 2 per face will come off, 2 new ones will come on, there'll be 3 remote radio heads. There'll be a hybrid fiber cable mounted inside. Once again, there won't be any changes to the ground-based equipment. It's really just necessary, once again, to improve 4G service.
You're going to destroy the beauty of the foliage by putting those little, the 2 mirror type things that you're putting in?
What's that?
Stop it.
I'm sorry.
She's being
She's
sarcastic.
being for.
Well, so who suggested it be a
CBA.
monopine?
CBA.
Oh.
That was their condition for granting the variance.
So you're coming to us with a change here, and we don't have any kind of term on this?
No, this one was a use variance, and although
And
the
site
next one
plan
is a little
review.
different, it was site plan review to the planning board, and, I mean, I actually sat down originally with John Fields, is that right? And Joe at that time, and they wanted us to come back before you for this one, so we carried that forward as far as an approach.
But is this all internal, basically all internal, but also on the other pole at the police station, you talked about 2 items being mounted on the outside?
Well, this is already the external antennas, and they're going
Okay.
to
Just
replace.
changing
So
it.
They're just switching out
So
6
it's not going to
antennas.
change the appearance?
Okay.
maybe
No,
to the better?
no, I mean, they're just, the remote radio heads will be right
Shame.
here in between, as those are depicted.
Okay.
I mean, there won't be any,
Yeah.
no one's gonna, I mean, once again, we had photo simulation, but there's no
All
physics
right.
change.
It's so ugly, these extra antennas.
Yeah.
They're not gonna make any difference.
Christmas lights.
But you know, at least it's not a 190-foot tree.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
Be
everywhere.
thankful for that.
I never did. I actually used to work in this industry for a short period of time, for about 5 years, and I refused to put those up.
Yeah.
I would do brown
This one's
sticks,
not on
I
us.
would do
The
everything
flagpoles
but.
actually do
the-
pretty good. They were
yeah.
really good.
I would
Okay,
do
so-
everything,
Yeah.
because.
David wants to move along.
Yeah.
Okay.
David
Let's
does
move
look
on.
like-
You want to make a motion, David?
Sure, I make a motion that we accept the amendments to and changes for it's 19 Oak Street that Verizon is suggesting here.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, last but not least, the
This is-
wonderful-
yeah,
this is
this-
the Campion Center, is it?
Mhm.
Yes. In this particular instance, there was a special permit site plan review granted. Not sure why, but the existing unipole, whatever you want to call them, internal antennas. Verizon Wireless currently has the 2 heights inside, and they're just going to be replacing 3 antennas inside. Once again, we include photo simulations, but there's absolutely no physical change because everything will occur inside. Those fiberglass pieces pop off. We put the new antennas, take out the old ones, put in the new ones, put the fiberglass canisters around it again. No change to the ground equipment. There aren't even any remote radio heads in this particular one because it just won't be accommodated.
Totally unreasonable.
So what happens
It's a pole.
if you don't have the remote radio?
No, it's standing on the
They don't
pole.
use the fiber.
Oh,
They don't
okay.
use the fiber,
Okay.
a hybrid cable.
Okay.
We've already gone through the color scheme for the pole and the
Right,
height of the
and
pole.
everything,
and-
lighting,
Yeah.
if there's any,
Yeah.
right. All right, so can I move that we accept the modifications proposed to Sudbury Road?
Now, do you want an
And you want to extend your
extension?
variance,
Yes.
your special permit?
Yeah, there's
It's another 5 year.
Yeah,
From the state.
And also
Okay.
to extend the special permit to
okay.
Second.
July 2019.
We'll be here before, don't
Motion made and seconded.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
we?
Thank you.
Good night.
Nay,
Yeah, I'm good for it.
Two.
You do, they say.
You'll probably get a decision sometime midweek of next week, and then they'll be filed with the clerk, and then we send a copy. And then there's a 20-day appeal. You know the drill. So, okay,
Have a good
thanks.
4th, everyone.
You too.
Yep.
You too.
Good night.